this edition of WCS Old Sparty Sports Connection. If you cannot tell who won this past Friday between Summit and Clarksville Northwest, obviously you need to turn that color up on your screen because the orange is prevalent here today. Old Sparty breaks the streak, Tate. 20-game losing streak. Have not had a win since 2013. First ever home win.
Huge, huge. Great win. We knew this is the one we had circled on the calendar. We knew Coach Coleman was going to get this done and his kids. The fans rushed the field. It was just a great, great experience, a great night. Great win. So happy for those kids, man. It would have been easy going 0-10, in the offseason to give up. They didn't do it. The staff didn't give up. They kept these kids working hard, and, man, very, very excited. Big win.
Hashtag Sparty Party. Old Sparty, the streak is over. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. The streak's not only over. They're going to fix and start a new streak. You better look out for Old Sparty because they're allowed to put some wins together here. I think there are more wins than this one on the schedule. Like you said, we're going to have to get Creed to go back into the archives to see, but I'm pretty sure we called this one. I know for a fact I called this one after you wore me out all last year on the records, but I called this one way back when the schedules were released. I just saw it. I knew it. And, even go back to week 1. They were right there in the game with Spring Hill. I think there are more wins. Congratulations to the Old Sparties. Something from nothing.
Something from nothing. Here's the great thing about it. We've been talking about the wing T offense and the way they're trying to win games, running the ball, drives, eating the clock, not turning it over. And, man, they did that. It all came together tonight. Ty Carter, 95 rushing yards. Palmer, 92 rushing yards. Snyder, 83 rushing yards. Zakreski, the quarterback, 6 for 7, 1 incompletion. Ball control, didn't turn it over. It was just it was fun to watch it all come together. And big win for them. One
thing I also see there for confidence sake is that Summit led the entire game and held off the run late in the game for Northwest, trying to get back in and even trying to take a lead there. Summit finally 1-1 versus Clarksville Northwest. They finish up 36-21. Once again, congratulations to Old Sparty. Page going to Lipscomb Academy. Page going in 1-0. Got beat 21-20 after going for 2 with seconds left in the game.
Heartbreaker, man. They were up. Lipscomb came back. We knew this was a quality Lipscomb team. We knew we were going to see a really good rushing attack, and that's what they saw. Came back. Lipscomb takes the lead in overtime. Page gets a score. That's a tough call, man. We saw Coach Hester do it in the Blue Cross Bowl last December. Coach Rathbone decided the best thing for them was go for 2. Man, that's one of those things. You're a hero or a goat. Tough call, but they'll learn from it. Page still a really quality team. Don't get too down on this. Lipscomb's a good football team.
Well, it's kind of like in basketball. When you go on the road, you always go for the 3 to win it, or the 2 to tie at home, because you always feel like you win home. So I feel like that's kind of the same theory. They go in there, we're on the road, good Lipscomb team, let's go for 2 right here and get on the buses and go home with a win. But I'm like you. I hope Page doesn't lose the confidence in this. This ought to be a great measuring stick saying, hey, we were in the game, actually had a chance to win. Matter of fact, led some of the game, part of the game. And I think they can take that momentum in from week 1, week 2, into week 3 and keep on going. Page is a pretty good football team.
Yeah, they're going to be fine.
Next, Fairview. 0-2, fall to Creekwood, 17-14, and a come-behind win from Creekwood. I know that Coach Hughes is sitting over there thinking how we're gonna stop the bleeding right now. Fairview, not a bad team, but right now they have to get that ship turned around quickly, or the season could go down as well as the playoff hope.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they're not giving up a whole lot of points. I know they did in the Page game, but that thing got away from them, and Page really good football team and a larger school enrollment. So they're not giving up a whole lot of points. Problem is they're not scoring a lot of points, which that's, you sit there and you think about Hunter Zimmerman being their third-year starter, and that's kind of a head scratcher. But whatever it is, they got to find a way to get some offense going. You got a guy who can pull the trigger and do it. Might have a young offensive line, but sometimes those things happen. It's still early on in the season, but got to find a way to score some points. If you can hold a team like Creekwood to 17 points, at Fairview, you got to win those games.
Well, I agree with you too, but the Page game was one of those anomalies. I think Page came out, was really, really wanting to win, put it on them. This game, however, Fairview was leading the whole game. Creekwood came from behind at the end. This one's going to hurt them for a while. Hopefully it will not go into this next week. Now they have to put all this behind them. Region play starts now. The 2 games prior to that was all for pretty much confidence sake, bragging rights, but now the real test starts with that region play. I hope that Fairview can correct the ship. Now, here's a stunner. Franklin, hosting Riverdale, home opener, beats Riverdale 34-20. I called it. You did not. But I'm telling you right now, even though I called it, I never expected them to win by 2 touchdowns.
Well, and here's the amazing thing. They only had 250, 260 total yards offense, scored 34 points. So, obviously, they had a fumble return for a touchdown. They forced turnovers. They played great on defense. And we knew they were going to have a good game plan with Dr. Defense as the head coach. But the kids still had to go out there and execute it. Riverdale's an explosive team. So, they played great on defense. They forced turnovers. And then 34 points on offense. Coach Dan Winfrey, who's the offense coordinator at Franklin, does such a great job. He's been such a big addition to Coach Webb's staff. But Landon Craddock with 135 rushing yards, 2 TDs. Now, remember, we talked about this last week. Riverdale only gave up 5 points to a very good Ooltewah team in week 1. 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Kyle Evans, he's coming around. He's coming around, taking over for Joe Critchlow. What did we talk about? He's got to manage the game, don't get him beat. He throws for about 6 for 7, 7 for 8, 2 touchdowns. That's exactly what they needed.
Franklin had a special night there. They had their dedication to their opening gate as you come in the open there for the ticket sales. And just an extremely large crowd. Of course, Riverdale's always going to draw interest. But I don't think even the Rebellion would have thought we're going to go in there and do what they did. 34-20, that is a huge eye-opener. We've got several eye-openers this week that don't even make sense. You think about how they go back and don't even score a point against Centennial and then go in and beat Riverdale. Of course, Riverdale only put up 9 points against, like you said, an Ooltewah, and won 9-5 in week 1. But I think that's a good indication of where Franklin's going to be.
Yeah, it is. And here's for the 6A guys, this is what we were talking about. The great thing is the goal is to win every game. But Coach Webb knows he's in the playoffs. Coach Hester knows he's in the playoffs. Now they've got different situations, but so you can work on some things to get better. And you know, if the old cliche is true, you make your biggest strides from week 1 to week 2. Man, they made a huge stride at Franklin this week.
Absolutely. In the Battle of the Woods, game day was there. What an unbelievable atmosphere. I mean, the crowd was there. Student section, G2 bar was there 2 hours before, 1 hour before kickoff when we started the show. I mean, what can you say about that?
It's unbelievable. And I know we've got some great, the Indy Nation, the Rebellion, Summit Squad, but I'm going to tell you now, I know like you always say, the bar has been set. They literally took up half the stands, an entire half of the stands. From the bottom row to the top, there wasn't an empty seat. It was unbelievable. They're all dressed in black. They were rowdy. It was great. So I can't wait to go to the other sites because they set the bar high.
Ravenwood moves to 2-0 after beating Brentwood 31-17. However, it was 10-3 going there with seconds left. That leads us to the WCTV Play of the Week, where Andrew Rapay, quarterback for Ravenwood, throws a touchdown to Chris Rowland to make it 17-3.
So here we go, 15 seconds. Rapay, again, problem handling the snap. Plenty of time.
Got him wide open.
Well, Matt, I tell you what, you can't give Rapay time, even off the mishandled snap.
No, and you saw it right there. You know, again, it's not a great snap, just like you called it, but perfect protection. And when Brentwood brought the blitz and they were able to pick it up, that allowed that deep route to come open in the back of the end zone. And rolling again, I mean, I just think you tackle him with the line of scrimmage next time he's lined up out wide because they can't stop him.
Tate, as you could tell right there on that sideline, we were standing there. We saw the play happen with literally 5-6 seconds left to go in the half. We both looked at each other and said, that probably broke the back of Brentwood going into half and getting the ball back, starting the second half.
Oh, yeah, and 2 things on this play. One, we talked about it, Chris Rowland, Coach Hester, he might be a running back. Coach Hester's going to move him around, find ways to get him the ball. 11 catches for 167 yards. You know, they had 2 deep safeties. They ran the smash route over on the other side. That safety went over, left him wide open. So great play by Chris. He's such a weapon, and the offensive line gave Rapay time to make the pass. So don't forget about the offensive line on that one. They played it perfectly. Let's talk about this for a stat. Andrew Rapay, 15 for 15, 170 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns. 15 rushes for 157 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. We talked about it at the beginning of the year. He's a little bit different than Cole, but man, that 15 for 15, He plays like that, they're going to win every game they play.
And the cumulative stats for him on the year, get this, 265 passing yards, 264 rushing yards. You're talking about a balanced attack. Doesn't get any more balanced than that. Connor Jeffries right now sitting at 246 yards total rushing for the year. Chris Rowland at 137. I'm telling you, we always talked about Cole Brown, Austin Percy, Van Jefferson. These three guys right here step into these roles and are fantastic. Right now, Ravenwood has outscored their opponent 78-44. That's a little different from last year where they had a couple shutouts early already. But if you keep doubling up, he'll take it all the way to the state championship game.
That's right. They look good. They're different, but they look good. Confidence. They're getting some guys back on defense this week. Coach Hester believes that's going to make them stronger. So that defense is going to be salty by the end of the year. And, hey, let's not lose sight of this. We both talked about it. Brentwood's already better. They're better from week 1 to week 2. The score might not reflect it, but they were in that game in the first half. Carson Croy ends up with 180 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. We knew it was going to happen, but Brentwood's getting better. Brentwood will be in the playoffs.
I was completely surprised. I don't know if surprised is the right word, but I agree with you 100%. I thought Brentwood looked really good, had a good game plan, kind of kept it slow and ugly, if you will, kept themselves in the game. I fully expect Brentwood to be in the playoffs coming into the year.
I do too.
Well, that is the Battle of the Woods, 31-17 once again to Ravenwood. And then the biggest eye-opener of the night, we could not have planned this. Nobody could have seen this coming. Independence beats Centennial 49-6. I don't even know what to say about that.
Running clock. I mean, if I had told you before the year started that someone would have a running clock against Centennial, you'd have taken that bet. That's hard to believe.
So there's 2 things we have to question here. The Centennial's offense right now, they're going to have to figure out something. Offensively, they're not probably doing so well. But we're going in thinking Centennial had the #1 defense going in behind Tyrell Dotson and their linebackers and their corners are all playing well. We knew that Independence had the #1 offense. Independence did not change a thing. They still scored 49 points. Centennial had 6. I don't even know what to say to that. I know that Coach Rector's probably pulling his hair out right now all weekend and watched tape, looked at it every which way he can that he can. Something's got to give. Something's got to turn around right there for Centennial.
Yeah, and he said that this weekend. We're going to go back to square one. But remember this: when I saw this, I got to thinking about it. Same kind of thing happened last year. High expectations. They meet Ravenwood for the first time. They got beat 38-0. Everybody's scratching their head. Holy cow! Centennial's not what we thought they were. Well, we see what happened. They got it corrected. Got the ship righted. 3rd round of the playoffs last year. They were a play away, a touchdown away from them being the one to win the Ravenwood game. So it happened a little earlier this year. I guarantee you he will get this fixed. But yeah, I mean, maybe they're not quite as good on defense as they thought. But you got to remember, Andrew Bunch, man, he's playing at such a high level. And this just goes to show, if you don't get pressure on him, he sits back there and picks you apart. If you bring pressure and you don't get to him, they hit you for long ones. That's tough to do.
Andrew Bunch, 14 for 21, 224 yards, 4 touchdowns. Had 1 interception in that. But, your receiving core, you've got 6 people in that receiving core. Nate Johnson had the least amount of yards the entire night. Going to Purdue, best receiver in WCS right now, and he has 10 yards, 1 catch for 10. So that's when they shade to his side, when they play their defensive schemes towards Nate Johnson, they're going to kill you elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Pick your poison. And don't forget, Bunch also had a rushing touchdown. He did all that in the first half. That was all in the first half.
Well, this is going to be it's already a crazy start for the WCS Sports Conference. What a great year it's going to be. When we come back from break, we're going to break down the 4 regions, scoreboards, look at how everybody did. We'll be right back.
When sharing the road, reaction time is important. Motorists should reduce their speed and avoid tailgating, especially in bad weather. When passing, they should leave at least 3 feet between their vehicle and the cyclist. Cyclists have the same rights and responsibilities as motorists. They should travel in the same direction on the right hand of the road and obey all traffic signals. Responsible cyclists care about the image they portray and are courteous to others with whom they share the road. Staying alert, sharing the road, and obeying traffic signals. Observing these rules provides predictability for both motorists and cyclists. Remember, same roads, same rules, same rights.
Welcome back to WCS Sports Connection. Tate, let's span the scoreboard. We have a brand new WCS Sports Conference app. Download that at the Apple Store or Andrew Store. You can follow all of our schools right now. Centennial kind of being the pilot for the content information. However, on Friday nights they have a countdown, a kickoff countdown, and it is fantastic. You can see live scores as the scoreboards show you at the game. You'll get a live look in with the clock ticking down. So let's span the scoreboard via Scorebird. New region 3-6A, Mount Juliet 0-2, which is surprising to me.
Yep.
Lost to Cane Ridge 27-0. Franklin obviously beat Riverdale 34-20. McGavick 1-1 beat Spring Hill 42-7. Lebanon moves to 1-0, breaking a 10-game losing streak, beating Warren County 28-13. Glad they went and got Warren County to get that win. Overton 1-1 beat Marshall County 42-41. Wilson Central 1-1 beat Station Camp 21-20. Antioch 0-2 lost to Laverne 18-3. And of course Ravenwood beat Brentwood. Which one of those games sticks out to you?
We talked about it, but Franklin beating Riverdale 34-20.
I agree, and I think Mount Juliet moving to 0-2 right there, getting beat 27-0.
Yeah, by Cambridge.
It looks good for Ravenwood, and it also looks good for Franklin in that region.
Without a doubt, they're huge though. So there's some things they can probably do to get it right. If they do, they've got talent. But yeah, those two, they really stand out to you. And also Overton beating a very good Marshall County team. Marshall County was lighting the world on fire. Overton loses to Stewart's Creek, who we're not sure is that good. Then they come back with that win. So Overton's probably going to be one of those, which team are you going to get? Region 7 5A, Dixon lost to Columbia 28-21. Clarksville Northeast lost to Father Ryan 41-6. West Creek lost to Hopkinsville, Kentucky 21-0. Clarksville drummed Kenwood 38-0. Brentwood, as we know, lost to Ravenwood 31-17. Rossview beat Beach 48-46 in a stunner. Came down kind of like the Page game, a missed two-point conversion. They retired Jalen Hurd's jersey that night, spoiled that. Centennial lost to Indy 49-6. Which one stands out to you?
I think the Rossview sticks out because we've looked at Rossview all the way through there. Unfortunately, the Henry County score was not available. We picked Henry County early on. They get beat by Liberty first week. Rossview right now, coming in from last year, they rode that wave, got beat by Whitehaven right there to get beat in the second round of the playoffs. Rossview looks to be coming out of this right now sitting pretty good. I think that'll be our top competition outside the WCS Sports Conference with Indian Centennial.
Let me tell you this, their quarterback Jordan Justice threw for 6 touchdown passes. I'd love to see Jordan Justice and Andrew Bunch going at each other. That'd be pretty fun to watch if you like offense.
It looks like that'd be a fantastic game. A lot of offense, track meet. Who gets to the finish line first? Region 5, 5A, Lincoln County beat Lawrence County 40-0 to move to 1-0. Summit 1-1 obviously beat Northwest, as we spoke. Old Sparty, Stewart's Creek 1-1 lost to Smyrna 28-14. Shelbyville moves to 2-0 after beating Giles County 34-19. I understand that Giles County is not the Giles County of old. Columbia also moves to 2-0, beating Dixon County 28-21. That does not bode well for Dixon County. Down the road, Franklin County moves to 1-1, beating Tullahoma 41-24. Laverne also moving to 1-1, beating Antioch 18-3. As we know, Indy moves to 2-0, beating Centennial. Which game sticks out to you in that group?
The one that sticks out to me is Lincoln County 40, Lawrence County 0. Lawrence County, by no means a favorite to win the state championship this year, but they're a quality program. That means, or it tells me, Lincoln County's better than I thought they were.
Well, obviously, Indy right there looking to go with battle with Lincoln County head-to-head. Shelbyville will probably be in the mix. Question is, can Old Sparty slide into one of those top 4 spots?
I think they can. If they play like they did last Friday night, they will.
Absolutely.
All right, Region 4, 4A, Spring Hill lost to McGavick 42-7. Page lost a heartbreaker on a failed 2-point conversion, 21-20 to Lipscomb Academy. Lawrence County, we mentioned 40-0 losers to Lincoln County. Tullahoma lost to Franklin County, 41-24. Giles County lost to Shelbyville, 34-19. Marshall County loses to Overton, 42-41.
Right now, you're sitting in that Region 4, which is Page's region, obviously. 3 teams at 500, 3 teams with 0 wins. I still think Marshall County probably one of the favorites in that group. But I'm telling you right now, Page, they better look out for Page. I don't know if they can beat Marshall County. I hope they do, and we'll talk about it when they play. But I really think that Spring Hill, Marshall County, and Page can be in that 3 of the top 4 spots.
I do too. And the thing we know about Marshall County now is they're going to give up some points. Well, we know Page can score. So, yeah, I think they've got a chance.
In Fairview's region, Region 6, 3A, Fairview moves to 0-2, lost to Creekwood 17-14. Stewart County 0-2, their streak continues. A losing streak of 2 years there, lost to Houston County 16-14. Cheatham County, pardon me, is the one on the streak, 0-2, lost to Hickman County on a come from behind win, 28-27 for Hickman County. Sycamore 1-1 beats Whites Creek 20-12. East Hickman falls to 0-2, lost to Waverly 59-6. Camden lost to Huntington 47-24. Harpeth moves to 1-1, lost to Montgomery Central 23-7. Which one game sticks out to you?
The Creekwood Fairview, and not that Creekwood beat them. I thought they had a chance to do it. The fact that Fairview only scored 14 points with Hunter Zimmerman at quarterback, as good as a player as he is, as good of an offensive coach as Coach Hughes is, and the offensive history they have at Fairview, I'm surprised they only had 14 points.
All right, moving on to this week's game. Let's do a rundown this week. Fairview, like we just said, 0-2 versus Stewart County, who is also 0-2. Both lost. Stewart County lost to Houston County, which is a smaller single-leg program. Fairview, can they right the ship?
I think so. This is a game they can win. I think it's a game they will win. I don't know where it is. That's never a fun place to have to go to.
It's at home.
Is that Dover? Yeah,
that's Dover.
Okay, it's at home. Good. Yes. Fairview, this is a game where they can get back on the winning track and get some success, and they need to. They need to score a lot of points, get some confidence in their offense.
And once again, this is the first region game, so you can take the first 2 games, just do away with it, and go in and saying, okay, guys, this is what we have to do to get that first region win, because if they lose all their non-conference games and then, if they win all their non-conference games and lose their region games, none of it matters. You got to win the region games. That's the name of the game. Get yourself into postseason, see what happens. Page 1-1 at Spring Hill, who also lost to McGavick 42-7 on Thursday. This could be an interesting matchup right here.
I think so. McGavick's a good football team, okay, and they're a 6A program. So don't let that score fool you. I think this is going to give us a real good measuring stick of where Page is. 2 really athletic teams, 2 really good quarterbacks, Michael Magochi, Tylen Oden. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. But yeah, this is going to be a close one.
I think you got 2 teams on 2 different angles. I think Spring Hill could possibly be going down just a little bit mentally. I say that because even though they beat Summit had an opportunity to go in and win that game. First game of the year, McGavick beats them. Page goes in on that wave of emotions that they're having right now. They get beat. So are they crossing paths? It's going to be a very interesting. This is a huge game for both these programs.
Yeah, it is. After the way they lost that heartbreaker to Lipscomb Academy, if they can bounce back, have a good win against Spring Hill, we're headed back in the right direction again. Really need to get a win here. And you're right, Spring Hill, if they follow this one up with a loss, this could maybe tailspin their season a little bit.
And like you said, this is a huge region game.
Huge.
Try to get off. Everybody wants to try to get off with a 1-0 start in the region play. Franklin 1-1 versus Overton, who also is 1-1. They beat Marshall County, like you said, 42-41. That's very interesting. That's a lot of points. Does the doctor of defense dial it up a little bit so that those points are not as high?
I would think so. Overton's going to do it a little bit differently. They're a rushing team. They've got a couple of running backs that can go the distance anytime they do it. But there's going to be a good game plan, kind of like we talked about with Brentwood and Ravenwood last year. You knew they were going to be more disciplined than Siegel. And that's what Franklin's going to be. Franklin's going to be more disciplined against Overton. So I don't think they'll give up as many points. Question is, for the second week in a row, can they score points? And I think they will. I think Franklin is headed in the right direction.
Well, they're playing at home. There's definitely an advantage when any WCS sports conference team plays at home with the crowds that we have, with the student sections, the rebellion will be rocking. It's the first region game. I don't know how Overton will travel in the past, predominantly not as well, but it's not a far it's not a far travel for them to come down. But I really think that Franklin right now, getting that huge win against Riverdale, they could be on the upswing here, getting into the first region, getting a big win.
Yep, needing another good game out of Kyle Evans, quarterback. Again, like we said, we're not asking you to win the game, manage the game. Just don't lose the game for us. Don't turn the ball over. Get us in and out in good position. And I think he'll do that. And as he grows through the year, they'll put more on him.
Independence 2-0 versus Lincoln County 1-0. This could be the game of the week for all WCS Sports Conference just because of the fact Lincoln County put up 40 points last week against Lawrence County. Independence put up 49 points. This is a huge region game. Could be implications. First place could be on the line right here, right off the bat.
Yeah, they have not seen a passing attack like they're going to see on Friday. I don't think Lincoln County. They're going to see it on film. You know from coaching basketball, you can't really tell how fast everything's moving and how fast Indy is until you see it up live and in person. I don't think Lincoln County has any idea what they're in for.
But once again, I don't know about Lawrence County, but putting up 40 points is a lot of points. So I think right here this will be a good test to see what the region really is going to look like. You know, we are going to that new region. This is the southern portion, Shelbyville, Lincoln County, etc. This will give us a good indication of what those teams outside the WCS Sports Conference will look like in that region.
That's right.
Summit, Old Sparty 1-1 now versus Shelbyville 2-0, beat Giles County 34-19. This is one of these games Shelbyville usually in the past, don't know about this year, was a pass first, run second type team. Once again, Coach Coleman and his group play ball control, wing tee, do not turn it over. Good things can happen.
Yeah, that's right. Shelbyville's very athletic. They're quick strike. They've got a lot of athletes on the field that can take it the distance. So what's the best way to keep them from doing that? Keep the ball away from them. So Shelbyville is going to be a good team. This is a tough test for Coach Coleman following up the big win last Friday. But that's right. They know the recipe for success, and that's to hold on to the ball, drive the ball. You know, if they have three guys over 80, 85, 90 yards rushing again next week, no turnovers, then they'll be fine.
How interesting will this be on Monday of next week when we're talking about Independence being 1-0 in the region and Summit being 1-0 in the region? I mean, there's a step closer to make it not only for the first home win ever, but looking at going to the playoffs. Not only that, Summit had their most points scored in a game ever on this past Friday night. Ravenwood 2-0 versus Mount Juliet, who to me is a shocker, moving to 0-2. They got beat by Cane Ridge 27-0. What do you think real quick about Ravenwood and Mount Juliet?
Mount Juliet, from what I've heard, is slow. That's not good against Ravenwood.
That's not good at all. I mean, you've got Connor Jeffries, you've got Rapay, you've got Chris Rowland. That's not good.
Not good.
All right. It's that time, our favorite time of the week. It's Pick'em's time. Fairview versus Stewart County. Who do you have?
The Yellow Jackets get the first win of the year.
I agree with you.
Dr. Oyer is going to be pumped.
I agree with you. Fairview gets back in the winning column. Jumbotron's going. They're at home. Things are rolling. Dr. Oyer finally gets a smile on her face for this year. I agree. Chris Hughes and Fairview Yellow Jackets move there with a win. Page at Spring Hill.
A lot of points. Shootout. I'm going with Michael Magochi and the Patriots.
Uh-oh, I can't believe it. I am too. I'm going with Page as well. Michael Magochi, Michael Roberts, all that group. They're going to keep that wave of emotion going. They're not going to let this past game get them down. Page wins. Franklin versus Overton.
Dr. Defense dials up 2 in a row.
Absolutely. Franklin rolls. The Rebellion gets them another win at home. Independence versus Lincoln County.
Independence, and be ready. It's a boat race. I'm
It's
telling you, they have no idea what's coming.
I tell you what, I agree with you. You wouldn't have said that until they beat Centennial 49-6, so whatever that means to you. Independence does beat Lincoln County. Lincoln put up 40 points. I believe they cut that in half at least and hold them. Ravenwood versus Mount Juliet.
Ravenwood, and they win big.
I was going to say the same thing. Boat race, big time, behind the Jeffries and the Connors. They beat Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet has put this on their calendar. Oh, we can't wait till Ravenwood. Well, they'll probably wish that wasn't circled, and they've been talking about it because Ravenwood rolls big time over Mount Juliet. Does Summit Old Sparty move to 2-1 and get themselves above 500 against Shelbyville?
I wish this game wasn't against Shelbyville because I think Shelbyville's very good. So Coach Coleman keeps them getting better. This is going to be a great season, but not Friday night. Shelbyville gets the win.
You got to be kidding me. We have our good luck charm here. We've broken the streak. I mean, Old Sparty rolls right here. They beat Shelbyville. This has been WCS Sports Connection, Old Sparty edition today. We'll see you next week.